What is Rassie Rasmus's best Springbok 23 to take on the Barbarians on the 28th of June? Now, the best Springbok 23 could mean a couple of things. Do we put out our big guns, or do we do what's best for the future of the Springboks and give a couple of the younger guys an opportunity? We're going to be diving into it in this video. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about the Springboks, South African rugby. So if you're a fan of that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave this video a like, and as always, drop your opinions down in the comments. Now, we'll quickly address the elephant in the room, and that is my new haircut. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I've got some mixed opinions. Now let's get into it. So the way I'm viewing this test match against the Barbarians, first of all, it doesn't count as a cap for the Springboks, so the players won't actually be getting a cap. They won't be a Springbok yet if they haven't played for the Springboks before, and it's not going to count towards the overall points in the World Rugby rankings, which we know is super important this year because the draw for the 2027 Rugby World Cup is in December. So the Springboks want to finish first so that they can have the best pool or the easiest pool in the 2027 Rugby World Cup. So I think my team, what's best for the Springboks is a mixture of experience as well as youth. I know a lot of the experienced guys are going to want to play in this game because it is against the Barbarians. It's more of a fun game and they get to play some running rugby. But I do think Rassie Rasmus is going to take this very, very seriously, especially leading into the 2025 season. So for me, I've gone for a mix of experience and a couple of debutants. Now, first up, who's going to wear that number 1 jersey? Now, our props, we've got so much depth in the prop department with Neertlin Fischer, Vincent Koch, Volko Low, Mchunu, Ox, Asenati, Steenekamp, Thomas, the tank engine, de Toy. I think you can make a case for a couple of the guys. You could start Jan-Hendrik Wessels as a prop as well. I just am of the opinion that Rassie Rasmus prefers him in that hooker position, as well as the Springboks are still looking for that third choice hooker behind Malcolm Marx and Bongi Mbonambe. So for me, I think we should keep it quite simple in the front row. I think the Bulls have been playing phenomenal rugby in the URC, and that's because of Gerrit Steenekamp and Volko Low. So for me, 1 and 3 are going to be Gerrit Steenekamp and Volko Low, and we keep that chemistry that the Bulls have formed going into the Springbok season. Also, Volko hasn't played for the Springboks in many, many years. Gerrit Steenekamp played for a couple of games last year, but I think it would be a good time to give them, not a cap, but give them a game against the Barbarians and really see what they're about. Then into the hooker positions, and like I said, we've got Bongi Mbonambe, we've got Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Malcolm Marx, and Marnus van der Merwe. So Rassie Rasmus dropping Johan Grobler, and I think it's important that I state that this is the squad from the second alignment camp, both the guys that were in person as well as online. So as much as I don't think that's going to be the squad that the Springboks go forward with, I think there will still be guys from the first alignment camp. I am using that squad from the second alignment camp. Now, do we give Marnus van der Merwe a shot in that hooker position? I wouldn't. And again, I think I'm going to stick with that Bulls front row, that chemistry, and I do think Jan-Hendrik Wessels does need to prove himself this year. They've put a lot of stock into him, and I think he's very versatile in the fact that he can play that hooker position as well as prop. So I'm going to go with Jan-Hendrik Wessels starting, and then we'll have either Malcolm Marx or Bongi Mbonambe coming off of the bench to sort of provide that bomb squad impact and that experience coming off of the bench. So a Bulls front row. We then move over into the locks. Again, we are so stacked in terms of locks. Eben Etzebeth, Salman Murat, Ruan Nokia, Kobus Visser, Jean Klein, Loet de Jager, Franco Mostert, and Argeus Snyman. Now, off the bat, I do think our best lock combination is Eben Etzebeth and Argeus Snyman. I mean, Argeus Snyman won player of the season for Leinster. Eben Etzebeth needs no introduction. Then we got Salman Murat, we got Ruan Nokia, who had a phenomenal season for the Springboks last year. We got Kobus Visser, who's been playing some good rugby for the Bulls, and I'm glad to see that he's been involved in the squads, and I'm eager to see if he gets a shot this year. We've got Jean Klein, we got Loet de Jager, and Franco Mostert, who we know quite a lot about. Now, for me, I don't think we should be playing our Eben Etzebeths or Sia Khaleesi in this game. I think let them rest against the Barbarians. They can maybe play one game between the first Italian test and the Georgia test matches, and we kind of save them for the Rugby Championship. So for me in that 4th position, I'm going to go for Loet de Jager. And I know he sometimes plays 5, he sometimes plays 4, but I'm going to go for Loet de Jager in that 4 position. I think we haven't seen much of him. He was injured last year, and I think Rassie needs to remind Springbok fans how good Loet de Jager is. Then I'm going to pair him up with Ruan Nokia, who has had a phenomenal season for the Bulls, had a phenomenal season for the Springboks last year, and was probably one of the finds of the season last year. So for me, Ruan Nokia in that number 5 jersey, he can call lineouts. He was very, very good at that for the Springboks. I think that's a well-balanced tight 5. 4 Bulls players in that tight 5, so it feels like we're back in the Victor Matfield, Bucky's Buata era. But I think that's probably our best tight 5 to play against the Barbarians. We then move over into the loose forwards, and this is where things get interesting because there are so many options. Renzo Duplessis, Cameron Hanekom, Siya Kolisi, Vincent Chichuka, Marco van Staden, Jasper Visser, Johannes Augustus, Jean-Luc Dupree, Pieter Steph de Toy, and Kwagga Smith. Now, I do think we need to rest Siya. I think his workload has been quite a lot, and I'm not expecting to see him against the Barbarians, which then brings into the conversation, where do we play Cameron Hanekom? Because I do think Cameron Hanekom needs to play. I think he's probably going to win URC Player of the Season this year. But do we play him at 8 or do we play him at 6? A lot of people have been speaking about Cameron Hanekom sort of taking over the reins from Siya Kolisi in that number 6 position. So for me, I'm going to play Cameron Hanekom in that 6 position, and as well, we know how versatile he is. He plays 8 for the Bulls and could shift into that 8 role if something happens. 7, I think we need some experience in that 7 jersey, and the only player to do that is Pieter Steph de Toy. He's also been playing over in Japan. I think it'll be good for him to get a little bit of game time on South African soil and feel the crowd and, you know, see the boys and get the chemistry back. So Pieter Steph de Toy in 7, he'll probably captain the side for me if I had to pick a captain. And then 8, I mean, we have Jasper Visser. We have, I mean, I haven't even spoken about Renzo Duplessis or Vincent Chichuka, who could definitely get in and play against the Barbarians. But I think for 8, we got to go between Kwagga Smith, Gerardo Augustus, and Jasper Visser. For me, I think Gerardo Augustus deserves a shot. I think he's had 2 phenomenal seasons for the Northampton Saints, and this is the perfect game to give him a shot in a Springbok jersey. It won't count as a cap, but give him a shot. Let's see if he swims or sinks. So I think that is an exceptionally strong forward pack. We're giving some guys opportunities. We're testing a couple of combinations, and then we also have the experience. Now, into the backline, I think this is where we can experiment just a little bit more, because I think as a backline player, you can start your Springbok career a little bit younger than a forward can. So scrum offs, Jaden Hendrickse, Grant Williams, Morne van den Berg, Faf de Klerk, and Kobus Reinach. Now, on this channel, we often talk about the combination between 9 and 10, and not just picking a 9 and not just picking a 10, but sort of picking them together. So I like matching up Grant Williams and Sasha, or Grant Williams and Marnie, because I feel like they play the same style of rugby, where if you're going with a Andre Pollard at 10, then maybe you play a Kobus Reinach or a Jaden Hendrickse or a Faf de Klerk, who maybe play a little bit slower, they're more thoughtful in their process, where Grant Williams is super fast, Morne van den Berg super fast, and so is Marnie and Sasha. But for me, I think this is a perfect opportunity to give Morne van den Berg a shot in that number 9 jersey. He's proved over the last 2 seasons why he should be in a Springbok jersey. He did have a cap last year, but I think this is the perfect opportunity to test him in that 9 jersey. And then I'm going to pair him up with the only person that I think should be playing fly-off against the Barbarians, and that is Sasha. Sasha Feinboom Gumazulu is a freak of nature, and if we take care of him and we preserve him a little bit and make sure he doesn't get any injuries or long-term injuries, I think he could be our fly-off for sort of the next 10 to 12 years. So I think pairing him up with Morne van den Berg is going to be fast, it's going to be electric, it's going to be focused around running, attacking rugby, which is what we're going to play against the Barbarians and what the Barbarians are going to play back against us. You do have the options of Marnie, Hundre, and Jordan Hendrickse, but I just think Sasha in front of a Cape Town crowd is going to be absolutely magical. So Morne at 9, Sasha at 10, then into the centers, Lukhanyo Andre Esterhuizen, Ethan Hooker, Damien Delende, Jesse Kriel, and Damian Willemse. Now, there's a couple of options here. We could go for the true tried and tested, the Damien Delende at 12, the Jesse Kriel at 13. We could go again for the tried and tested, Lukhanyo and Andre Esterhuizen at 12 and 13. Or we can experiment a bit. Like, I do think we need some sort of experience in the backline. So I'm going to play Jesse Kriel in that number 13 jersey. I think he is still our best number 13 on defense and on attack. And if you've got Morne and Sasha in at 9 and 10, we do need a little bit of experience in that midfield. And then, do we play Ethan Hooker at 12? Do we play Andre Esterhuizen at 12? Damien Delende, Damian Willemse. For me, I think it's going to be very difficult to take that number 15 jersey off of Apelele Fassi at the moment. The rugby he played for the Springboks last season was something we haven't seen in a while in that 15 jersey. So for me, I'm going to try Damian Willemse at 12, and there's a few reasons for that. 1, because Apelele Fassi is going to be my 15. 2, because Sasha's 10. And we've seen the combination of Sasha at 10 and Damian at 12 for the Stormers that seems to be working. We also then have another option for that 10. We could play off both sides of the ruck. Damian could stand on the one, Sasha could play on the other. So it gives us a little bit more attacking variability. So for me, Damien Willemse at 12, Jesse Kriel at 13. Then into the wings. Again, so stacked in the wing department. Makazole Mapimpi, Kanan Moody, Edwin van der Merwe, Kurt Liorense, Cheslin Colby, and now we have Ntokozo Makaza, who can also play fly-off, he can play fullback, he can play wing. The question is, does Rassie Erasmus throw him into the deep end against the Barbarians? Is it a responsible move for Rassie Erasmus to take him straight out of the Varsity Cup and put him into a Springbok jersey, even though it doesn't count as a cap? I would be very, very surprised if he did. It is a Rassie thing to do something like that no one's expecting, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we give Cheslin a little bit of a rest. I think we give Kurt Liorense a little bit of a rest. And I think we go with Edwin van der Merwe at 11. And I think we go with Kanan Moody at 14. I would love to see Kanan playing more of a 13 role, but that just doesn't seem to be the case in the Springbok system. The Bulls have also sort of leaned away from that. So I think giving Edwin an opportunity, I mean, he did get injured last year. He had a phenomenal debut test against Wales. Kanan Moody, we need to see a little bit more of. We need to give him some more opportunity because he has been quite quiet in a Springbok jersey over the last season. I think that's a powerful wing duo. And then fullback, I've already said it, Apelele Fassi. We could go for Willie Leroux, Kieran Horn, or again, Ntokozo Makaza, but I think it's going to be so difficult to take that jersey off of Apelele Fassi that I think we have to play him. Then, into the bench. Now, I think this is where experience needs to come onto the field. Not that much experience. I'm not bringing on an Ebenezebeth or Siya Kolisi, but for our front row, I'm going to go with Malcolm Marx as a replacement hooker, Ox as the replacement loosehead, and Thomas Dutoy as the replacement tight head, who can also swing and play that loosehead role if need be. Then I'm going for one lock, and that is going to be Kobus Visser. I think we have to give him a shot. Let's give him 30 minutes against the Barbarians and see what he can do. Lucy's, I'm going to go for Renzo Duplessis. Again, a very, very exciting talent. I think you can go for Renzo or Vincent in this scenario, but I think let's give Renzo a go. He's impressed me a lot playing for the Lions, and I think it could be another perfect opportunity to bring him on the foundations laid and let him play against a very, very experienced side that will be the Barbarians. And then the final Lucy 6-2 split is going to be Kwaka Smith, who can come on at 8, 7, 6, wherever we need him, and that's going to give us that versatility that maybe we need. Then the two backline players, I'm going for a replacement scrum off and a utility back. Grant Williams in that number 22 jersey, and then in that 23 jersey, I'm going to go for Jordan Hendrickse. And that's my best 23 that I think Rassie Erasmus should field against the Barbarians. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, leave this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.